All right, so, um, yeah, so this is where we left off, right? We're starting on a new page. We're on page 14 now. Okay, and this is what happened on the 24th. We had another delivery, right? So, how do I journalize this one?
So now you want to take this one?
Sure. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to the commission worksheet so I don't forget. Let's see here.
Commissions worksheet. Got it.
Our date is still 6/24. I believe the corner bookstore is already in there for $194.10. Our invoice is $105. Our 10% is $19.41.
Okay, so in this case, we're going to just do a little reverse and re-add right here.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Looks like, oh wait, I need to redo mine too. Oh wait, no. So it would be the 1941 plus the 2654, right? So
Yes.
45.95.
Yes,
I need to
45. 45.95.
just need to redo mine really quickly. That equals, okay, good. All right, and then we're going to go to our general journal. And we need to record the sale and the inventory. So I just copied another transaction from above where we have accounts receivable and yeah. Okay. So our debit for accounts receivable is going to be $194.10.
Okay. I'm gonna equal sum mine.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Our sales for our regular coffee is $49.35.
49.35.
Our Supreme is $39.90. Our ceramic mugs is going to be $74.85. And delivery 30. And that should equal $194.10.
$194.10. Good. That's just to check if in case I do any typos. Good. 194.10.
And then we're going to revise our description of the transaction. Change it to the corner bookstore. Invoice 105. And the terms 1% 15, net 30. Next, we're going to update our general ledger for the sale. first account is accounts receivable.
Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Accounts receivable, okay. So assets. All right, got it.
Invoice 105. General Journal 14. Our debit amount is $194.10. And that gave me a grand total of $1568.27.
Good. 15, 60, 27.
Our next account is sales for regular coffee.
Sales for regular coffee.
Date 6/24. Our invoice is 105 for 15 pounds. General Journal 14. For $49.35, which brought the grand total to $608.65.
Can you guys go a little bit slower, please?
608.65. Okay.
What was that again? 6.65?
608.65. Yes.
Thank you.
Next account will be the sales for the Supreme. Our invoice number is 105. Oh, wait. Yeah, and that's 10 pounds, I believe.
Yep. 10 pounds.
General Journal 14. The amount was $39.90. Which gave a grand total of $638.40.
Good. 638.40.
Then the last one for the sale is delivery income.
We have coffee mugs.
Oh, shoot. We sure do, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Skipping right along.
Okay.
Yes, ceramic coffee mugs. First, get there here. There it is. Looks like we sold 15. On General Journal 14. The amount is $74.85. Which gave me a grand total of $825.57.
825.57 is correct.
And now we can go to delivery income.
Delivery income.
Invoice number 105. Our general journal is 14. The credit amount is $30, which gives us a grand total of $180.
What was the total again?
180.
Okay.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
All right, next then we'll go to inventory so we can figure out our cost of goods sold.
Okay.
Okay. On our regular coffee, we sold 15 pounds at our last cost of 1.63268 for a total of $24.49.
Okay.
So then we're gonna take the 177.5 minus the 15. Gives us a quantity of 162.5. And then we'll take the 289.80 minus the 24.49, which gives us a total of 265.31.
265.31. Good.
All right, so let me just black out my last cost here. Okay. And that makes our cost per item the same as last time. Okay. Let me just fix my formula here. Boom. to Supreme. And on our Supreme on 6/24, we sold 10 pounds. And we're gonna use the cost, first in, first out. Looks like 184. Which totals 1840. Now we need to take the 72 minus the 10 that we sold, which would be 62. At the 184 cost should equals 114.08.
Good.
And then our grand total should be 346.58.
Can you go back to the 114.08? What is it? We take 132.48 minus. We subtracted what?
So,
Right, the 114. Yeah, one.
I just subtracted 72 minus 10, which is 62
Oh, on the total.
on the quantity.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have a formula. When I fix mine, there's no formula there, so I want to know how you got the 114.08. That's what I'm asking.
It's just quantity times cost.
I'm sorry, what?
It's just quantity times cost.
Oh, yeah, okay. So it's 62 times the 184, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks.
We still use the 1.84, right? Since we're using the pricing.
Yes, because every batch that we sell is going to have a constant number. Yeah, we're not changing the average for this one because we actually care which ones go first.
I'm good for you to move on. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so we can go back to our general journal and input the numbers for our cost of goods sold in our inventory. For our regular coffee, our debit is going to be $24.49. And then for the Supreme, our cost of goods sold is $18.40. And then we can go ahead and update our description. To the corner bookstore. Invoice 105. Is everybody ready to move into the general ledger?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. First, we'll go to our cost of goods sold. regular coffee. On 6/24, we sold
For regular coffee. Okay.
15 pounds. General Journal 14. And our debit is 24.49, which gives me a grand total of 544.44.
54444.
Then next we go to our cost of goods sold for Supreme Coffee.
Cost of goods sold Supreme Coffee.
And on this, we sold 10 pounds. On General Journal 14. And our amount is 1840 debit. For a grand total of 569.42.
Good.
Now we can go to regular coffee. Inventory. Not the inventory worksheet, but in the ledger. Regular, we sold 15 pounds. General Journal 14. Our credit amount is going to be 24.49. And I have a grand total of 265.31.
Okay, let's
Oh,
check
wait.
our ledger. I mean, check our
Oh,
265.31.
oops. Yes. Okay.
Good. 265.31.
And then last, we can go to Supreme Coffee. We sold 10 pounds. General Journal 14. Our credit amount is going to be 1840. And that leaves me with a balance of 346.58.
34658, which matches our inventory worksheet. Let's see. 34658. Good.
You can make a
couple of
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, let me go back to it.
Why would your spreadsheet freeze?
What?
My spreadsheet is frozen. What would be the cause of it, you
It,
think?
oh, it could be internet, or it could be too many windows are open at once, or too many formulas are put in. Yeah. Most
Yes.
likely, I would say your internet, because your internet is also trying to save your work online too. It's saving it into the cloud.
Okay. I'm just gonna make myself a note. And we're on Supreme, right?
Yes, we are on Supreme.
And the total should be 246 what?
346.58.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. Yes, thank you.
All right, and the last thing, which I usually do earlier,
Okay.
I almost forgot, is to go to the subsidiary ledger.
Excellent. I was just gonna say that you forgot one last step. Good.
Go to customers. To
The corner bookstore, which should be the last one.
oops, and I just put the date. Not necessarily any notes, but invoice 105. General Journal 14. Let's see, our terms were 1% 15, net 30. Our discount date, I got July 9. And then due date of July 24th. Sales, 194.10, which brings our grand total for accounts receivable to 247.99.
Good.
And I believe this is it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna save again just in case.
Yes. Save, save, save. Save is your best friend in this case scenario. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this scenario right here, okay? Super A submits an order. And Super A also, okay, sends a check number 884 for $460.18 for advance payment on this order. Okay. So, what do we do here?
a question.
Go for it.
Okay, so we use prepaid accounts and deposits for when we prepay on something or we make a deposit, right?
Correct.
And in this case, this would be a liability because we haven't actually earned the income yet.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes, because in this case, right, they gave us money. What is the obligation that we have to do?
We have to give them product.
We have to give them service. So in this case, we owe them service. So good. Good.
So the only account that I found was unearned revenue.
That is the correct account. That is the correct account we're going to be using because we haven't earned the revenue yet. That's hence the word unearned. So it is a liability because they're paying us for services we haven't even completed yet. So in this case, right, now they only gave me an advance payment for half. So in this case, how should I record this? Now let's make a mental note. I haven't delivered the stuff to them yet because it's dated to be delivered on June 27.
Would we debit checking,
Okay,
deposit the funds, and then credit unearned revenue?
that is correct. So 24th of June. So we still receive the money. That's definitely have to go into our checking account, right? And we're also going to have this unearned revenue because we owe them service, right? We haven't even done the job yet. So in this case, we need to hold accountability that we're going to complete this task given though we had an advance payment. So in this case, checking is account 10100. What is unearned revenue? What's the account number for that one?
26000.
Okay. And how much was that check written out for?
For 6018.
460 for 46018. 46018.
This is the first example that we encounter with this process, correct?
Yes. This is also a good example in a real life scenario where someone buys a service from you that you haven't even completed, right? Or a down payment or a deposit, right? If you require someone to give you 50% down just to ensure that they are committed to the sale, then this is how you do it.
What's FOB again?
Freight on board.
Which is, if I remember correctly, the customer is going to pay for that when they get the order, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But in this case, this one just says that I'm going to deliver to their store. Okay, origination means like this is starting from my store. So what's the note I'm going to add here?
Could we just use Super A Market um, prepayment on sales order 107.
Good.
Because a sales order eventually will be turned into an invoice.
Oh, yes. Yes. So sales, advanced payment, sales order number 107, comma,
And the check number.
check number is 488.
Yeah.
Yes, 488.
What check number?
488. Oh, wait,
Oh,
four,
it's
no,
884.
804. Okay, wow,
I'm like,
okay.
where are you guys at?
Dyslexia here. Okay, so there you go, 884. Okay. So good. We have that. Now, in this case, right, we weren't specific on what that down payment was, so you don't have to put a percentage or anything, but this is clearly half. Again, unless we require, but they just gave us money and we're just gonna say, okay, well, they gave us half of it. So you don't really need to write any 50% down or anything like that, just because it's just an advance payment. We didn't require whether it's 50% or not. So what's next?
Since we are in our journal, can we go to deposits and then just note that we received that check?
Oh, yes, good. For 6018. What else needs to be done here?
Purchase order.
This is not a purchase order. Where have we been collecting our sales order?
Well, if we follow the journal, we need to go to check-in in our assets.
On the ledger?
Yes.
Okay, we could do that. Is it 460?
Yeah, for 60 and
18.
18 cents.
Okay. Wow, even with that 400 extra dollars, we're still in the hole. Okay. Okay. So that means even at the end of the day, that check, once it clears, we're going to get charged for that. So in this case, right, make sure you indicate your credit and hide the font for this one, but keep the formula there.
like in following the journal, you go to unearned revenue, which is
Yes.
in your liabilities.
Ooh, excuse me. Okay. Unearned revenue.
Bless you.
Ooh, excuse me again. Thank you. Okay, so unearned revenue. It's going to be under utilities, utilities payable. Ooh, excuse me again. Unearned revenue. It is the 24th.
What can you use as a note? Can you
I'm
use
just,
the invoice and the check number, or
yeah, that's good. So I could do advanced payment SO number 107, check number 884. That's all good enough, right? Because as long as you reference that this is for the sales order number 107, it's good enough. Post reference. And make sure you're on the credit side for 460.18, which is going to be your credit balance in this account. 460.18.
and then after that, would you go to your sub ledger to customers?
Good.
Oh my gosh, I finally getting this.
Right? Because we dealt with a customer, right? So we have to update his account or their account because we're going to sell something to them. So Super A Market should be the third one. Okay. 624. Okay. Any notes here?
I don't know. I put advance payment check 884.
Good. Advanced payment check 884. Okay. Now, in this case, we don't have an invoice number yet, but go ahead and put SO 107, right? Sales order 107. Okay. We are still on General Journal 14. We haven't released the discount due date yet, so there's nothing here that you want to put in here. Now, in this case, it's going to function exactly just like how we did for our vendors when we created our deposits, right? In this case, I'm going to say that I had the amount for 460.18 and I received the payment for 60.18. So right now, there's nothing that's being owed or nothing that's being paid for because if you just put the payment there, we have a previous invoice right there. So it might look like, oh, hey, they paid for the other invoice. No, they did not pay for that invoice. Okay. And they did not pay for the total amount because when we finally invoice them, we're gonna put that under advance payment, and we're gonna also put the full amount. So then, when we have the ending amount, it's gonna reflect how much they actually truly owe. So in this case, this is the best way to do it to make sure that you're recording that you received a payment. You're gonna say that the sales order invoice was marked at 460.18. Okay, and here's your advanced payment for 460.18 to bring your account balance now to 0. Okay.
So why we didn't put it on advance pay?
If it because then let's try that. Let's answer that question real quick. Okay. So if I go ahead and put that in there, right, under advance payment, right, 460.18, it's showing that I have a negative, right? Now, how do I, if I were to plug the next thing in, right, saying that the order, right, the sales is 460.18, right, it would show that I have a zero balance in both of those accounts. And look, it still says I owe 498 for the very first invoice I sent them. But that's not true. Okay, so in this case, I have to do it that way, just so then I'm saying that the sales order, right, had an account balance for 460.18, right, and because I can't say that that was added to my account, right, because if I do that and I were to say, well, they gave me an advance payment for 160.18, and then the amount that I owe is 160.18. Now it's saying they owe me $958, which isn't true. They don't owe me this. They owe me $460.18. Okay, so in this case, right, if I put the original amount, which is, let me see, 460.18 plus 460.17, right, if I put the 920.35, right, now it looks like they doubled up on the amount here. But that's not true. Right? All right, and then same thing goes as well if I were to just put the payment in here for 460.18. It looks like I'm making a payment to my very first invoice, which isn't true. Right? And see, now it says negative, but even if I were to put it in here, right, now it shows me that they paid this amount, and then we took an advance payment, which then shows me that I don't owe anything. And that's not true. They do owe me. Yeah.
In essence, if we put that as a payment, because of the formula that we have, the Excel is going to recognize that as a payment on the previous invoice.
I mean, not more so for the previous invoice, but it appears like it's being paying the previous invoice. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if I clear this out, right, and I put a payment for 460.18, right, now it looks like that Super A Market only owes me $38.62. Well, that's not true. They still owe me $498 for that one sales. So in this case, that's what you have to do. You have to pretend like the sales order invoice number is reflecting at 460.18, and we've received the payment for it. So then the next time we put in those information, we're going to put it against it by adding it as an advance payment, and then adding against my original invoice amount to get me my total amount of accounts receivable. Right? So here it still says that they owe me $498.80 for the previous invoice, which is true. Right? Now, there's another thing that you could do too. If you wanted it to do it this way, you could leave this line right here, just exactly right it is. And then you could just enter in the advance payment here. And then once the transaction happens, you plug everything back in here in that same row. The only thing I don't recommend is that doesn't show me when this person made a payment to me and when I delivered it. Because then I'm going to have to be creating and shoving more items in here in this exact cell right here, just so then I can say, okay, well, they paid me and they delivered it. See, because then I would have to change the date. I would have to enter in here like extra stuff. I would change this to 107. It's just going to make it more messier. And then the reference is going to be different too. So in this case, I prefer it to do it this way, just so that you could see how each transaction is and each step-by-step transaction that is dealt with this particular customer. Right? And then this goes the same way as QuickBooks too. When a customer pays something, right, it's a separate thing, and then you apply it to the invoice. Any questions here? Okay. One last thing that we have to do.
Do we need to enter it into our commissions worksheet?
Yes. Even though Albert didn't submit it himself, he still got Super A Market to buy our product. So then they liked it so much that they went out and they decided to purchase it themselves by ordering it, I don't know, online through a phone call. I don't know. But in this case, we still need to put it in here because who's going to deliver it to him? To Super A? Albert. Yep. He's still going to do the job anyway. So, what was it? 9/20/25? Yep. This is still his job, his customer. So, therefore, he must follow through. Oh, 35. 9/20/35. Okay. It's still his customer. He's still got to do the job anyway. So he's going to get the money on this. All right. Let's see. Okay. We definitely have time to do these two last transactions, and then tomorrow we'll go ahead and complete and finish up the sales for that day, okay? So let's just complete these two purchase orders and call it a day, all right? So we have purchase order number 170312, and we also have a second PO for 170313, okay? So we're going to go to our PO list. Okay. Here we are, 312 and 313. Let's see what the first one is for. The first one is to Atlas Coffee, and the second one is for All Things Ceramics. Okay. We're going to order 250 pounds of coffee, okay, for a total price of $372.50. Okay. While our other one for All Things Ceramics, we're going to order this time 100 coffee mugs. Okay. So it's up to you. If you had numbers in here, you need to change it to 100 coffee mugs, but I just put coffee mugs, right? That's the only thing we're ordering from this store. Okay. Right. Any questions in regards to anything that we did today? Okay.
Can you just give me 1 second to catch up on that because my PO sheet looks different. I think I don't have. Oh, never mind. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we'll pick up by doing the end of the day sales tomorrow. Okay. So for June, for Monday, we're going to do the in-store sales, and then we'll finish up everything else tomorrow. Okay. So good. If there are no questions, you guys are free to go.